A lot of First Robotics teams struggle with social media because they're using outdated methods. But what if I were to show you the exact path that I took to go from no one caring about my content to people leaving comments like this? Because the secret to getting people interested in your social media is actually a lot simpler than you think. Now, the outdated tactic that I see a lot of teams utilizing on social media is they are posting pictures very often. Now, this is pretty common for most businesses and teams in general doing social media because pictures are super simple to take and they're quick and fast to post. However, the type of content that we're going to be talking about that is really going to maximize your team's social media is video. And in specific, we're going to be talking about short form video. We want to go video because in this day and age, video is king. Every single social media platform is utilizing video and moving towards video in every avenue. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then a video is worth like 10 billion words. Going from there, let's think about what platforms we want to utilize for our social media. Now, there's a lot of different platforms, but the two that I would very strongly recommend that you utilize the most are Facebook and Instagram. You're going to want to set up a Facebook page and an Instagram page for your team. Now, the nice thing is because Facebook and Instagram are owned by the same company, which is Meta, you can link them together and you can set settings so that when you post to Facebook or when you post to Instagram, they cross post to each other. So you only really need to post one time to hit both of these platforms rather than having to manually post on each one every time you make something. There's two big things that I do before every single video that I make. One, I think about what is the title of this video going to be? And two, what is the thumbnail going to be? This is something that a lot of people don't think about until after the fact. You want to flip this around because by planning these out in advance, it helps you to determine what you want to film, and therefore it makes your editing easier when you get to the editing room because you already have an idea of what you're trying to make. Now, you can edit this video inside of the native apps that you're using like Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, but I would recommend using some kind of third-party editor. Some good options here are Canva, CapCut, Premiere Pro, and DaVinci Resolve. If you're part of a school, you may actually have Adobe Pro already, but Canva and CapCut are both great options that are free, that don't cost anything, and DaVinci Resolve is also free, but the learning curve is a little bit higher than the other editors. So once you put your video together and you edited it, there's some final things that you want to do before you post it. Put subtitles on your video. By default, when people are scrolling their phones on social media, videos are muted. So having subtitles helps to give the viewer a little bit of context when they first see your video to determine if they want to keep on watching and even potentially unmute your video. Or for a lot of people, they'll just sit and watch your video without ever turning the sound on and they'll just read the subtitles. There's 3 really good platforms you can use to automatically put subtitles on your video rather than having to manually do them yourself. And that is CapCut, Canva, and Riverside. Each platform has different capabilities, some that are free and some that are paid. Personally, I use CapCut and I have CapCut Pro, but CapCut does have free AI generated subtitles. They're just not as fancy and snazzy as the pro ones, but they work just fine, especially if you just need some subtitles in there to put on your video. So getting your video made, edited, polished, and ready to go is just the first part. But once you've posted it, if you don't do these things afterwards, you're also not going to get nearly as much reach and engagement as you could have. And so this is primarily where Facebook can be so powerful, is in Facebook, there are Facebook groups. And Facebook groups are places where people with interests hang out together. The First Robotics group is a big Facebook group within First Robotics, along with the First Robotics Network Facebook group. But there's Facebook groups for community pages like the town that you live in and other similar interests. And so once you have posted your content to your team's Facebook page, the next step is to share that content with specific Facebook groups where your ideal avatar hangs out. Now, making this post is, again, where I see a lot of teams make errors. They'll make a post on their Facebook page, they'll share it to a Facebook group, and then just leave it at that and hope for the best. But you don't want to do this. And the reason why is because it comes off as really spammy and promotional. Now, if you're like me, you see all kinds of stuff on social media that just you don't care about, right? You scroll right on past. When you take a post and you put it in a Facebook group, without any kind of dialogue or intention to have conversation, people just gloss it over. They completely ignore it, and what you're hoping to do, which is get people to see your stuff, just falls flat on its face. So every time that I make a post and share it into a Facebook group, I add additional stuff onto that post to try and get a conversation started and get people to interact with my post. This does two things. One, it shows people that you're just simply trying to be a part of the community and therefore they're more willing to interact with you. And two, it actually does help your post to get more reach because people will most likely share your post to their own pages or other places if they feel that there's something really interesting about it, and especially if you start sparking conversation. Now, once you've posted this and you've shared it, people are going to comment. And this is another error that I see a lot of teams make is they don't respond to the comments or the likes that people are giving to their content. If you want to get people to be aware and engaged in your content, you have to respond to every single comment that you get on your post that you make. Now, granted, there's obviously a certain point where if you're getting so many comments, you can't respond to them all. That's a different story, but I'm assuming that if you're watching this video, you're probably not going viral every time you make a piece of content. So in this case, respond to every single comment that you can to the best of your ability and try to get the conversation to keep on going. That way people, again, are interested and engaged in your content. So if you make a video like this one time a week, one short form video that you post to Facebook, that you share to a Facebook group, that you share on Instagram, and you spark conversation, you are going to see a lot more engagement and reach for every piece of content that you make. And you're going to start getting comments from people that are saying like, wow, this is super cool. Hey, thanks for sharing this. I really appreciate it. That was an awesome piece of information or an awesome video, etc., etc. And this is the kind of thing that starts to build your team's social media as a place for people to learn about your program, see some cool things, and again, feel like they're part of your program and want to support it. Now, I didn't talk about my content making process a whole lot in this video, but if you want to learn one major thing you can do right now to immediately improve every piece of content that you make, then go check out this video that I have here where I talk all about it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you gained something valuable out of this one, and I'll see you in the next one.